Hey guys, I'm back. So today I'm doing War Robots again. I'm just gonna be doing some battles, and I'm not too sure about something. I'm not sure what's better, Death Button Rhino or Death Button Griffin. Now, for my Death Button Rhino, I take off the pinatas and I replace them with magnums for continuous fire. But on my Griffin, I just put pinatas and organs. So I feel like I'm starting to have my doubts about the Rhino, because I've been trying it out quite a lot and I die really quickly. So I don't want to stop using it, but I think maybe it's less of a tank and more of a sneak attacker. Like I feel like I'm using it wrong, because the way when you look at it, it looks a lot like a tanker, a rusher, brawler, you know. Looks like something that you just raise its shield and you gun everything down. But the biggest disadvantage to its ability is having to cover up your medium weapons, because you either choose from taking less damage, or you either choose from you choose from having less health and doing more damage, or having more health but doing less damage. And the fact that I'm running a death button makes the ability a huge disadvantage when I turn it on, because organs, that's basically the main part of this build. If you take off the organs, it's doing around 2,000 damage per shot, which is good, except for the fact of how, like, slow. The magnums aren't slow, but they are quite hard to deal lots of damage with. I use the magnums because of their infinite reload, and since they do 1,000 damage per, that's basically 1,000, like 2,000, 3,000 damage per second. So I'm gonna try to run in free for all, start using my Rhino a bit more, and learn how to use it, because right now I don't really use it. I feel like it's kind of a waste of 2 organs right now. But I feel like if I learn how to use it and when to use it, and like how to, basically the strategy for it, I'd do a lot better. So I looked up some advice online, and it says you don't use the Rhino as really a rusher. You only turn on its ability when you have to. Even though it has an infinite ability, it's not that good. You know, you can get flanked so easily when it's on, because you're so distracted by the fact that whoever you're aiming for, that you kind of forgot. Oh god, yeah, this is one of the examples. Death Button Rhino versus Death Button Griffin. It already shows that the Rhino is a bit lacking in that category of Death Button. Okay, somebody has 2 MK2s. So I'm not gonna leave just yet, because you can revive in this mode. But I really need help on how to use the Death Button Rhino, because you deal tons of damage for the first 10 seconds. But when you're not in shield mode, when you're not in assault mode, you are so vulnerable. But the worst part about the Rhino's shield is it can take splash damage. I mean, it can't take splash damage. It's almost as if you don't have a shield, but you're still wasting up 2 slots, you know? So, like, you turn on its ability for the speed, but you can't shoot. And it's not like the shield's helping or anything. So you're basically just turning on a speed boost that renders 2 of your guns unusable. Now, I personally feel like the more I play and the more I change my deck, the worse and worse it gets. Because now that I'm playing more and changing it around to see what I like, really the only robot that I can find useful is my Raging. Everything else absolutely is garbage for me. because this Natasha that I'm running right now, I just selected it. I don't even remember what I had earlier, and I'm going to try to find out after this, actually. Because the Raging and the Fusion are really the only two robots that are useful, and the Raging's starting to also become pretty useless. Like, it's really bad because the robots seem really good. You know, you use them once, they seem absolutely amazing. And then after a bit of using them, you realize how much they suck, and they're just garbage. You see, at first I used the Zeus and Thunder Raging because it's good at 2 different ranges, actually 3 different ranges. Because the Thunder does more damage up close, and then the Zeus just does constant damage, and no matter like where you are, like a long range, medium range, close range. I'm getting 2v1. I really hate this. God, I just want a fair fight, man. Alright, looks like I'll have to take... Oh, wow. This is quite embarrassing for them. Just took both of them down, even though they're 2v1ing me. Well, that's pretty, impressive, I guess. Especially for a Raging that has not the best weapons in the game. My Zeus isn't even that high level. Oh, it's a Rhino. Yeah, as you can see, the Rhino is so vulnerable when its shield is up. It's almost like a disability. The only upside to it isn't even the HP boost, because someone could easily just run a Death Button Griffin, which is probably one of the most Death Button is hands down the most used class in the game right now. Only second, well, the only really competitor is Plasma. And since the Rhino isn't too good at Death Button because of its ability, it's kind of starting to lose. It's starting to lose the battle in the battle of winning the meta. Like, it can block a lot of stuff, but the main thing it can't block is missiles, and that just happens to be the most popular thing in the game, which is really a downside. Because if we look up, so I'm kind of struggling to find back what I used to use, because that wasn't that bad. Well, I'm just kind of finding like my perfect deck, because I like the Fusion and Raging dots 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 4, but I used to use the Griffin a lot. But I'm really discouraged to start using it again, because I don't want my 15,000 I don't want my 15,000 workshop points to just be sitting there unused. You know? And maybe it's just for the best that I stop using it, because I don't really know how to use it. And my Natasha, I want to replace it with something else. I'm not too sure. Maybe I should just replace it with my Stalker. Yeah, because I really like the Stalker. It's one of my favorite late robots. Actually, it is my favorite late robot. But I feel like the Rhino, it's filling a niche. It's filling a niche in my... Okay, so basically, my 4 classes that I mainly use are light distraction, medium Death Button, another medium Death Button, and a heavy tanker. So I have all of those, but the Rhino isn't too good at what it's supposed to do right now. Like, I could just easily replace it with the Silver Costing Griffin. Maybe the Rhino needs a bit of a buff, I think, because its shield is almost rendered useless, because everybody else is using everybody else uses missile weapons like the Orkan, the Tumbleless, and I feel like it just becomes useless at this point, because it's not really helping you. Like, the Griffin's ability is better because you actually dodge the bullets. You know, missiles don't track you down, so the Griffin completely dodges the bullets, and that's really good. But the Rhino has the exact same slots. I'm not sure, maybe more HP. Okay, if we look at my Griffin, I think it's like level 5 or 6. Yeah, level 6, 110k. Level 5 Rhino has 111. Yeah, so it has 8,000 more HP at level 6. And it has its whole shield, which is like over double the HP. Like, the shield alone is almost 1.5 times as much HP as the Griffin has. So that's almost like 3 times the HP of the Griffin. But most of that HP is wasted in its shield. I would trade off the shield for just more HP. Even if it was less HP than the shield had. You know? If they made the shield like some sort of... Okay, like if they... At first I thought the Rhino's shield was unbreakable because of its high HP. But I soon realized it wasn't. And that was a real letdown. Because I wouldn't mind some missiles going through if the shield itself wouldn't break. Because, hey, even if it does have a weak point, at least all the other guns don't get through it. You know, that would have been a huge buff. That would have made it a lot more usable. But the thing I found with the Regine and the Rhino, their physical shields, basically anything with a physical shield is super vulnerable towards really missile weapons, and the shields break too. If the shields regenerated like energy shields, that would also be really good. But they don't, which is real. That's why I believe energy shields are better than physical shields. Even if the physical shields are usually typically stronger than energy, but they kind of don't do their job because it's supposed to block physical damage, and that's what missiles are. But missiles go through the shield and they still hit. But energy shields also block physical damage, but they tend to do it better. And they can regen. So I feel like from this we can conclude you should go for your energy shields before you go for your physical. Because you can run physical shields, and they can be really powerful. Like the Regine, if you know how to use it right, you can really tank in all the hits and deal tons of damage. But since the Rhino has a whole different ability, its shield is kind of less of a shield and more of a temporary cover that can't block missiles. Like, sure, yeah, the Regine also has a shield that missiles can go through, but it still has the HP to tank a few hits. Like, since the Orkan does around 32,000 damage at, like, level 6, 32 damage being all of its rockets unloaded. So if somebody has 2 of those, it can actually tank it and still have 100k left, which is, it can basically take 6 full loads of an Orkan and still be alive, or not still be alive. That's how many it takes to kill it. And if the Regine's even higher level, it may take even more. But the Rhino, the Regine, 196k, Rhino 155. It's like, I'd say buy the Rhino as one of your last ones, because you're gonna have to know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. I'm not saying it's bad. I say you have to learn how to use it. Like every single robot in the game. Some are easier to learn, some are harder. The Fujin, probably one of the easiest. Stalker, also. Griffin, also. Robots aren't popular because they're good. They're popular because they're easy to use. And I'll be doing a part 2 on how to learn to use your robot, and also kind of looking into the fact that how physical shields are worse than energy. But that's all the time I have for this part. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. This was more of the ranty part of the discussion. I'll be doing more of an informational part next. So hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for that next part, and I'll see you in the next video.